हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण। Hare Krishna dear devotees. So today is Monday, 25th of August, and it is also bank holiday, 25th. So it is Bhadra Masa or Hrishikesha Masa, Sukla Paksham, and Vidya Tithi, but there are no Vaishnava events today. So we shall move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Maitreya Muni is speaking about the creation. So starting from Pradhana, which is in the dormant state of the nature, and then later on it manifested into Prakriti. And later on, the Lord has kept all the seeds of the living entities within the Prakriti. During that state, it is called Mahatattva. And from the Mahatattva, all the living entities in due course of time, one after another, they're all manifested. And also the living entities and the natures, mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, they will be exhibited. So by the Mithya Hankara, that Mithya Hankara is the place, that Mahatattva is the place that is starting from. Ahankara is manifested in these three different parts: goodness, passion, and ignorance. So Mahatattva Vikurvana अहम तत्व व्यध्यायत कार्य कारण कर्त्रात्मा भूतेन्द्रिय मनोमयः वैकारिकः तैजसस्य तामसस्य इति अहम त्रिधा. So it is mentioning the living entities. What are the three other things from the ahankar? It is manifested karya karana katratma. Karya is the effect, karana is the cause, and katra is the soul or the doer. Atma Bhutendriya Manomaya, who is having all kinds of indriyas and senses. That is the living entity, the individual living entity. So that is how it gets manifested, and it is preparing to come out from the Mahatattva. And then he exhibits his activities and his natures through goodness, passion, and ignorance. Those are the three. And then later on, Maitreya Muni further he is speaking, and this ahankara, aham tattva, how it is manifested by the interactions of. So he mentioned goodness, passion, and ignorance are manifested from the mahatattva. And this false ego interaction with the goodness, how it is, what are going to be the products of the goodness, what are the products of the mode of passion, what are the products of mode of ignorance by the false ego goodness, false ego passion, false ego and ignorance. So interactions of those three modes of nature and the ahankara, what are the products. Likewise, Maitreya is mentioning starting from the ahankara plus goodness equal to mind and then demigods, and where is the place for sankalpa vikalpabhyam. Likewise, they are going to be manifested. And from the mode of passion, so all the jnana, karma, and the knowledge required to utilize these senses and the knowledge, that will be manifested from the mode of passion. Okay, so likewise, we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter 5, and verse number 30 and 31. Aham tattvad vikurvanad mano vaikarikad abhut vaikarikashaye deva ardhabhivyanjanam yataha. Aham tattvad vikurvanad. Aham tattva vikurvanad. Aham tattva is the from the principle of false ego. Vikurvanad by the transformation. Manaha, the mind. Vaikarikad abhut, and by the interaction with the mode of goodness. Abhut, generated. What is generated? Manaha, mind is generated from the principle of false ego and mode of goodness. Mind is generated. Vaikarikasya ye deva, and from the mode of goodness, Vaikarikaha cha, also all these, what are they? Devaha, demigods, Adda, the phenomenon, Abhivyanjan yataha, the physical knowledge, and yataha, the source that got, everything got manifested. Aham tattvad vikurvanad mano vaikarikadhabhut vaikarikasya ye deva ardhabhivyanjanam yataha. Translation. The false ego is transformed into mind by interaction with the mode of goodness. All the demigods who control the phenomenal world are also products of the same principle, namely the interaction of false ego and the mode of goodness. False ego interacting, purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. False ego interacting with different modes of material nature is the source of all materials in the phenomenal world. And further, in the 31st shloka is mentioning Maitreya Muni speaking, Taisani indriyani eva jnana karma mayani cha. Taisani indriyani eva, from the mode of passion. Taijasani indriyani eva, certainly there are senses, jnana karma mayani cha. Jnana, so senses, knowledge, philosophical speculation, and karma is the fruitive activities. Mayani cha, predominating cha, also. From these are coming from the mode of passion, products of the mode of passion. Taijasani indriyani eva jnana karma mayani cha. Translation: the senses are certainly products of the mode of passion in the false ego, and therefore philosophical speculation, speculative knowledge, and fruitive activities are predominantly products of the mode of passion. Okay, purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, can I request Sita Sundari Mataji, if you are available to read the purport, Mataji?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The chief function of the false ego is go, good, goodlessness. When a person forgets his conditional position as an eternally subordinate part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and wants to be happy independently, he functions mainly in the two ways. He first attempts to act fruitively for personal gain or sense gratification, and after attempting such fruitive activities for a considerable time, when he is frustrated, he becomes a philosophical speculator and thinks himself to be on the same level as God. This false idea of becoming one with the Lord is the last share of the illusory energy, which traps a living entity into the bondage of forgetfulness under the spell of false ego. The best means of liberation from the clutches of false ego is to give up the habit of philosophical speculation regarding the absolute truth. One should know definitely that the absolute truth is never realized by the philosophical speculation of the imperfect egoistic person. The absolute truth or the Supreme Personality of Godhead is realized by hearing about Him in all submission and love from a bona fide authority who is a representative of the 12 great authorities mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. By such an attempt, only can one conquer the illusory energy of the Lord, although for others she is unsurpassable, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7.14. Hare Krishna.
Bhagwan ki jai. Thank you, Mataji. So here Prabhupada is describing, so here from the mode of goodness, all the demigods and their functions, they are also generated. From the mode of passion, the indriyas, senses, that is senses, and also for that to utilize those senses. What are the senses? 5 jnanendriyas, 5 karnendriyas. Jnanendriyas are the eyes, nose, ears, sense of touch, that is skin, and then eyes, nose, what else? One more thing, one more, the tongue.
Tongue.
Yeah, 5 senses and 5 sense objectives. Sense of, again, starting from the sense of hearing, sense of touch, sense of sight, sense of taste, and then sense of smell. So again, these are the 5 tanmatras, senses and the sense objectives. And karnendriyas, this is hands, legs, and then genital, rectum, and then mouth. So these are 5 karnendriyas. These are all manifested from the mode of passion. Taisani indriyani eva jnana karmam mayanicha. Jnana karma mayanicha. And also requiring to function these indriyas, they require knowledge and karma. This is called jnana, prana sekti and jnana sekti. Jnana sekti, jnana kriya. So there is also in the 26th chapter, it is also clearly also mentioned here about the same functions. What are the functions? Jnana Sekti, Kriya Sekti, Prana Sekti. Kriya Sekti is the utilizing the hands, legs, and mouth, genital, and rectum. It is Kriya Sekti. And Prana Sekti, it is utilized for how to utilize. It forces the senses how to utilize those things. That is Jnana Sekti comes from. Again, both are coming from the mode of passion. Taisan indriyaneva jnana karma mayanicha. So here the chief function of the false ego is godlessness. Chief function of the false ego is godlessness. So asatyam apritishtam te jagadahuranishwaram aparaspara sambhodam kim manyad kamahaitukam. So demonic people generally, this is godlessness is for the people, demonic people. So they think that there is no God. Asatyam, Apratistam te Jagadahuru, Anishwaram. There is no Ishvara. There is no controller. In such a way, Aparaspara Sambhotam Kim Manyad Kama Haitukam. They think that just man and woman come together and have you for the union, and then everything manifests like that. So in such a way, they have some there is some kind of story. So there is one person and he is eating apple, something like that. One man and woman, something. That is a pastime. There is no logic behind it. That is called false ego. Such kind of things are coming from false ego. And when a person forgets his constitutional position as an eternally subordinate part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and wants to be happy independently, he functions mainly in 2 ways. So his first attempt is to act fruitively for the personal gain or sense gratification, and other attempt such fruitive activities for a considerable time. When he is frustrated, he becomes philosophical speculator and thinks himself to be on the same level as God. So this is the second level. In the first level, whenever he forgets that he is a part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and servant of Him, kadati krityamam yad bho akratam adikramam, then he tends to do so many mistakes. So whenever the Lord says about Jaya and Vijaya, in the Vaikuntha planet. So there he mentions that Yetau tau pashnatau mahyam jayo vijay evacha kadati krutyamam yadho bahu akratam atikramam. So these two my attendants, my associates, O Kumaras. So Jaya, they are called Jaya and Vijaya. Kadati Kurtimam Yadho, for time being, they have forgotten me. And then, and about my nature. Because of that, Bohu Akratam Adikramam, they have made mistakes and then keep on doing the sinful activities later on. Of course, not in the Vaikuntha, it is not possible. So they fall down into the material world after the curse of the four Kumaras. So this is where the starting point is forgetfulness. When a person forgets his constitutional position as an eternally subordinate and part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he wants to be happy independently. Again, this one also, when one thing comes from the Lord by the desire of the Lord or will of the Lord, that is one side. Another side is the individual living entity forgets completely on his individual will. Two wills are there. One is the will of the Lord, another one is the desire of a living entity. Whenever it is a desire of the living entity, then he will be entangled. If it is a desire of the Supreme Lord, he would not be entangled. How do we understand whether it is the will of the Lord or it is the will of the devotee, will of a person? We can easily understand a person who is following these regulative principles, chanting Anukulyena Krishnanuselanam. So this is Anyavilashita Sunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulyena Krishnanuselanam Bhaktiruttama. So this is mentioned by even Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. That is called the first class devotional service. Even there is no jnana and karma. Anavritam. Anavritam is Avritam is the covering. Anavritam is not covering. So Anyabilata Shunyam. So there is no more no other desires except the devotional service of the Lord. And there is no place even for jnana and karma also. Jnana and karma means they understand that all jnana is knowing about the Lord, working under the desire, under the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as per the desire of the Lord. That is jnana. Karma is the devotional service to the Lord. So that is the real constitutional position. But whenever these two are covered, jnana and karma, they are engaged for the personal sense gratification, it will entangle them. But when we engage this, anukulena Krishna anuselanam, that is called Krishna anuselanam, for the sake of Krishna, it becomes devotional service. That is bhakti ruttama. And when he is using everything for his sense gratification, for his endeavor, yam yam adhamupadate, dukkena sukha hetave, tam tam dhunoti bhagavan, puman sochit yat kurite. So whenever he struggle very hard to accumulate money, and then in due course of time, tam tam dhunoti bhagavan, he will take out that money and everything. So that is the nature of this material world. Then puman sochit yat kurite, because he lost everything and then he will lament. Because of that, he will be frustrated in due course of time. And then later on, he wanted to come. So again, because one statement Brahma mentions, it is not possible for any living entity to be success in this material world if without the help of the Lord, without coming to the devotional service to the Lord. So Loko vikarma nirtaha kushile pramattaha karmanyayam tadbudite bhavadachane sve yastavadasya balavaniha jivitasham sadhya chinati animishaya namostu tasmai. Brahma in previous 3:9 and then it is 17. Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, 9th chapter, 17th verse. He mentions all the plans of the human beings, they will be cut to the pieces. That is where they get frustrated because they do not follow the scriptural injunctions. And then further, they will come to the philosophical speculators and thinking himself to be on the same level as God. So taking some shelter of knowledge and speculate in his own way. That is next level. And this false idea of becoming one with the Lord is the last snare of the illusory energy, which traps the living entity into the bondage of forgetfulness under the spell of false ego. So I am the God, and then there is no one greater than me. So I think likewise one identifies himself. This is last snare of the illusory energy. And further, Prabhupada is describing the best means of liberation from the clutches of the false ego is to give up the habit of philosophical speculation regarding the absolute truth. So again, one should leave. This is Manovyasanga Muktibihi. ततो दुस्संगम सुज्जा सत्सु सज्जेत बुद्धिमान चिंतये संत एवास चिन्धन्ति मनोव्यासंग मुक्तिभिः chindanti santa evas chindanti chindanti is cutting manovyasanga all the mental speculations or philosophical speculations regarding the absolute truth. That happens only when they come to the association of the devotees, leaving the bad association, coming to the devotees association, then he would cut automatically. Chindanti manovyasanga muktibihi. So likewise Krishna says to Uddhava. One should know definitely that absolute truth is never realized by the philosophical speculations of the imperfect, egoistic person because of defects of the human society, their imperfect senses, falling into illusion, make mistakes, tend to cheat. These are the imperfects of this material world. Whatever they think, this philosophical speculation, that will not be leading to the good results. So the absolute truth or the Supreme Personality of Godhead is realized by hearing about Him in all submission and love from the bona fide authority who is representative of the great authorities mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So kind Bhagavan Shabda Gocharaha Sattum Vishtabhya Virjam Bhagavan Shabda Gocharaha. So the Lord who is residing in the Vaikuntha planets, he can be known in this material world by the Shabda Gocharaha. Bhagavan Shabda Gocharaha. Otherwise, it is not that much easy to see the Lord and to know about the Lord. One has to take the shelter of hearing from the bona fide authority, not from any others, not from the Avaishnavas. Avaishnava Mukhabuddhinam Shravanam na Kartavyam. One should not hear anything from the non-devotees or non-Vaishnavas. We have to hear only from the devotees of the Lord. Potam Harikatamrutam. Potam Harikatam. Potam is the purity or the sanctified. Harikatamrutam, the nectar of Harikata. It is when they speak like non-devotees speak, what it means like Sarpochistam yatapaiha. Sarpamuchistam yatapaiha. When the snake touches the milk, that becomes poisonous. Likewise, whenever non-devotees are touching Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, if you are hearing from such kind of people, there will be disturbance in the devotional service or misunderstandings about the Lord. So one has to approach only the bona fide spiritual master coming from Krishna, down from Krishna, Brahma, Narada, and again authorities like there are four sampradayas. Four sampradayas are the Sri Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, Kumar Sampradaya, Brahma Sampradaya. So our Krishna consciousness, it is in the Sri Brahma Sampradaya. Brahma Sampradaya, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Guru Parampara. This is the lineage for us. From the Sri Sampradaya, there is Acharya called Ramanujacharya, so who has prominently expanded that philosophy. And from the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya, where Madhvacharya expanded this philosophy. And from the Kumar Sampradaya, that one is the, I think, Nimbarkacharya, and then Rudra Sampradaya is expanded by Vishnu Swami. So these are the four identified authorities in the Vaishnava Sampradayas. So one has to approach any of these Sampradayas and the Acharyas here. They're the bona fide. There is no gaps between while they're explaining about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are not much differences. The mood is different, but not the actual philosophy. So here the 12 Mahajanas are the Swayambhu Narada Hashambho Kumaro Kapilo Manuhu Prahalada Janako Bhishma Bhalit Vayasa Kirvayam. So this is Swayambhu, he is the Brahma, Narada, Shambhu, Lord Shiva, Satri, Prahalada, Kumaro Kapilo Manuhu, four Kumaras, Kapila Muni, and Swayambhu Manu, and then Prahalada, Janaka, Bhishma, Bali Chakravarti, and Sukadeva Goswami, and Yamadharmaraja. These are the 12 authorities mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. By such attempt, one has to take those, of course, that is whenever as this statement is spoken by Yamadharmaraja to his associates. But there are so many authorities, like Arjuna is also Arjuna, Buddhava, so many other great personalities are also there. There are also our Mahajanas as well. Later on, we could see when Brahma was speaking to Narada Muni, he speaks many other people names. That one also comes in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, chapter 7. Okay, so that is how this Bhagavatam is spread. So, idam Bhagavatam nama yenme Bhagavatoditam sangrahoyam vibhutenam tvam yetad vipuli kuru. Brahma says to Narada Muni after hearing this Srimad Bhagavatam, oh Narada Muni, you just give this whatever I have got this Bhagavatam from the Lord. I have given you in a very summary way, but you expand further. And how you need to expand? यताहरो भगवते नृणां भक्तिर्भविष्यति सर्वात्मनि अखिलाधारे इति संकल्पवर्णय यताहरो भगवते नृणां भक्तिर्भविष्यति. When you describe to the devotees, they have to come to the devotional service. नृणां भक्तिर्भविष्यति Sarvatmani Akhiladhare, and you describe about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the source and the shelter of this entire cosmic manifestation. Akhila Adhare. Adhare is the support of this entire cosmic manifestation. Sarvatmani, who is the super soul of everyone. Iti Sankalpa Varnaya. In such a way, you should have a determination to preach Krishna consciousness. Brahma is empowering Narada Muni to preach as it is. And how you should not mental speculate. You need to speak as they are. How they are? Mayam Varnaito Amushya Yeshwarasya Anumodataha. Yeshwarasya Anumodataha. It should be approved by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is the Lord has spoken? That is Dharmam Shakshat Bhagavad Pranitam. What is Dharmam? Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Krishna directly from his mouth. That is the ultimate thing. Whatever we speak, it must coincide and overlap with, it should be approved by Bhagavad Gita. This is Ishwarasya Anumodataha. If I am quoting from different kinds of Puranas, it must be supported by Bhagavad Gita. If it is not supporting Ishwarasya Anumodataha, then it is not. One should understand that there are so many other discussions that are also coming into the picture. Different Puranas are all there for different people who are in the mode of ignorance, for people in the mode of passion, for people in the mode of goodness. Again, whenever they speak, if it is supporting the statements of Ishwarasya Anumodataha, then it is accepted. But there are for people of mode of ignorance, that is not the ultimate thing. Again, Lord Shiva says, whatever I say something, O Parvati, if on the same subject matter, if the Vishnu spoke something, that takes the highest priority. That one also we could see in the Padma Purana while describing about the categorization of the Puranas and the conversations, what is taking highest priority. So here, Ishwarasya Anumodataha. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, that is the topmost thing. And anything which is supporting Bhagavad Gita, that is accepted nature. That is in acceptance. So here, Mayam Vanaito Amushya Ishwarasya Anumodataha. Brahma is again stressing that point to the Narada Muni. Shranataha Shraddhaya Nityam Maya Atma Namuhyate. And he would not be bewildered by the material nature. Maya Atma Namuhyate. He will never be bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord. Likewise, Brahma says this is bona fide spiritual authorities, representative of two great authorities mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. We need to approach only those things. Such an attempt only can conquer the illusory energy of the Lord. So this is Maya Atma Namuhyate. Namuhyate. He will not be bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord. One has to take shelter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And if you are speaking about any Puranas and those, that must be supporting Bhagavad Gita statement, aligning to that. If it is deviating from the Bhagavad Gita statement and saying that, okay, this personality of Godhead is greater than Krishna, then that is definitely understand it is the illusory energy of the Lord. It is not Ishwarasya Anumodataha. Krishna says, Aham Prabhavasya Sarva. Aham Sarvasya Prabhavaha Mattah Sarvam Pravartate. Everything comes from me. I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mattah Param Nanyat Kinchidasti Dhananjaya. There is no greater truth than me. Nothing is equal to me. Likewise, Krishna says. That is what is Ishwarasya Anumodataha. If it is deviating from the statements, then it is certainly under illusory energy of the Lord. So this is although for others, she is unsurpassable as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Daivihi esha gunamai mama maya dhuratyaya mam yevaye prapadyante mayam yetam tarantite. What is Maya? Is material nature. So here in the Maitreya Muni previously he was mentioning, it is called Maya Nam Mahabhaga Yedham Nirmame Vibhu. So whatever is manufactured Prakriti, it is Maya. So whatever we perceive through the senses, it is the Maya. And beyond that, the sound vibration, the Shruti Gocharaha, Shruti Gochara or Bhagavan Shabda Gocharaha. Lord can be known by hearing the from the bona fide authorities. Okay, that is Shrutis or the Vedas. And our essence of all the Vedas is Bhagavad Gita. Essence of all the Vedas is Bhagavad Gita. Sarvo Upanishado Gavo Dogda Gopalanandanaha Paddavachaha and Sudhir Bhokta Gita Amrutam Mahat. Okay, likewise, Prabhupada is describing here. Then one will be coming out of the Maya. So this is again how the ahankara is manifesting through the mode of goodness and mode of passions. What are the products of goodness and products of passion? So here Maitreya Muni is speaking. So later on he also mentions from the mind. From the mind is the again sorry, from the mode of goodness, mind also generated, that is mentioned. From the mind, yet sankalpa vikalpabhyam. Sankalpas, I wanted to do it. So it will give your mind some gesture that I wanted to do it, determination. Sankalpa vikalpabhyam. I don't want to do it anytime. So these are the different kinds of perceptions of the mind. That is also in the mode of goodness. Okay, so that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. And for the mind, it is the Aniruddhakyam. Aniruddha is the presiding deity for the mind. Okay, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam that we would also see later on. Aham tattvad vikurvanad mano vaikarika dabud vaikarikasha yedeva ardhabhivenjanam yataham taisani indriyani eva jnana karma mayani cha. Okay, likewise, Maitreya is speaking. Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam Jai. We shall move to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today letter to Hamsadatta. November 5th, 1970, Bombay. It is a small letter only. Can I request any unallocated devotees? Garingi Mataji is here. Garingi Mataji, would you like to read this letter, Mataji? Garingi Mataji, are you available?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. You want to read me, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Okay. Sure, Prabhuji. My dear Hansaduta, please accept my blessing. I have not received any letter from you since I left Kolkata. Neither from Kirtanananda Swami nor Achidananda Swami. I do not know how things are going on there. I shall be glad to hear of your activities and enrollment of life members. In the meantime, I have received one uh, in invitation from Madan Mohan uh, Mintri enclosed, which speaks for itself. The copy of the is also reply also enclosed uh, herein. If you receive any letter from him, you can consider the case for going there with him with fully party. I hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Any takeaway points, Mataji, from this letter?
Yes, Prabhupada mentioned about Hansaduta, he not getting his letter. Then since he left Kolkata and Kirtananda Swami, Achidananda Swami, they are going there. That's why he is glad to hear that. Then he also talking about um, uh, he received invitation from Madan Mohan. And then he also sent the copy of him, Prabhuji. I cannot explain properly, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. If I nicely summarize this letter. Okay, any other comments, devotees? You wanted to add anything on this? Okay, so it's a small letter. So Prabhupada was just it is administrative things. Prabhupada is inquiring how the things are going on. Hamsadatta from from you. So likewise asking. Okay, so that is about Srila Prabhupada's letter. And from the announcements point of view, so today evening we have got teachings of Lord Chaitanya at 8 p.m. Okay, so today is bank holiday. Again, dear devotees, if you have got any questions or you wanted to share anything on Krishna consciousness or anything, there are events are going on you want to share, kindly share.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
In that part, you said like, everybody one time go to like, leave material world and they have to go eventually the space. Is that for everyone, like one time? Each living entity?
So spiritual world, they go to maximum to the
No,
Karna.
no, I'm saying like yeah. So I'm just saying that everybody get that chance, opportunity one time.
Everyone, it is depends on the desire of the living entity, whether he wanted to go or not. Lord does not, and Lord says, "Yate chasi tata kuru." So this is the knowledge. You wanted to come to Vaikuntha or you wanted to stay in the material world.
Mm-hmm.
So that choice belongs to the living entity. It is not force.
Yeah, it's not forced, but one time everybody
Yes,
is
everyone has
desire to go.
100% scope to go back to Vaikuntha Loka. Yes.
Mhm. Okay.
So here, even the people, they make sinful activities at particular point of time, unknowingly due to the foolishness or ignorance, but later on coming into the consciousness, Krishna consciousness, gradually that sinful activities will be nullified. He will be purified by the austerities and penances and devotional service. And then, whenever there in the statements of Bhagavatam uh, says, the demigods are praying to the Varahadev Bhagwan. नमो नमस्तेस्तु अखिलैर्घ्रितन्तवे सितौ पुरीहित अमलसत्त्वमुद्धये दिश्चाहतोऽयं जगतामरुन्धः त्वत्पादभक्त्यवैमीशि निभृताहम् एवं हिरण्याक्षमसह्य विक्रमं सा साधयित्वा हरिरादिसूकरः जगामलोकं स्वमखण्डित्वोत्सवं समीरितः पुष्करविष्टरादिभिः यो वै हिरण्याक्षवदं महाद्भुतं विक्रीडितं कारणसुकरात्मनः शृणोति गायति अनुमोदति अञ्जसा vimuchyate brahmavadat api dvijaha. So here, just by hearing these pastimes of the Varahadev Bhagavan or Krishna's pastimes, vimuchyate brahmavadat api dvijaha. Even the one kills Brahmana, Brahma, so brahmavadat api dvijaha, he will be relieved from the sinful activity of killing a Brahmana. So that kind of facility is there. So that means any person in this material world who has appeared here by his desires and performed so many sinful activities, he has got 100% scope to purify himself and go back to the Godhead. So that is there. But whether he utilizes that opportunity, that is his desire, his will, that is his free will. If he utilizes that one, he will go back to Vaikuntha. If he doesn't want you, if he misuses his free will, then he will be still in the material world.
Yeah, but like sometimes material world they easily can gain everything from. So people are much in that attract where spirituality they have to like so much austerity or something, difficult to come. So I think yeah, that's very
Yeah, it is. That's right. So it is difficult to come out from there because they chose it. They have chosen it. So that's why, again, living in the material world is also not easy. Problems are always there.
problems. Yeah, but with like to yeah problems are always there, but still it's very difficult. So like God is in everybody's heart. So why is everybody have no same thinking?
Yeah, this is of the Yatsanubandhe Sadehagehe Mamahamityuradhuragrahanam Mama Aham Pumsam Sudoram Vastopi Puriyam. Pumsam Sudoram, the Lord is very far away, even though he is in their Lord. Pumsam Sudoryam, Pumsam Sudoram Vastopi Swapuriyam. Even the Lord is in their heart, but he is very far away from such kind of people. Aham Mameti. यत्सानुभन्दे सदेहगेः ममाहमित्युरधुराग्रहाणम् पुंसां सुदूरं वस्तुत्पुर्यं भजेमते ते भगवन्पदाब्जम्. Demigod's prayers in the same chapter. I think here itself we could see. Let us see here. Yatsanubhande is it comes further here down. shloka name. I think it is third shloka of this praise. So yes, Yatsanubhande Sadehagehe Mamahamityodadhragrahanam Pumsam Sudoram Vastopi Puryam Bhaje Matate Bhagwan Padabjam. Demigod's praise. O Lord, persons who are entangled by undesirable eagerness for the temporary body and kinsmen, and who are bound by the thoughts of mind and eye, are unable to see your lotus feet, although your lotus feet are situated within their own bodies, but they cannot see them. They cannot see you. So they are mentioning, but let us take shelter of your lotus feet. Unable to see your lotus feet, even though Lord is in their heart. And by they are bound by aham, mine and I. This is aham. So that's why when it is as much as possible, we must uh, avoid using I, you, those statements, mine. Whenever we write messages or write any paragraphs or something, we have to avoid these things. Whenever we see the purports, Prabhupada has never used I and you, something like that, unless it is the description of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam.
So like some doing the evil activity, but that is also not God will to make them to do these things.
Evil activities.
Like some people are like demon or like not they are not good, but they do some wrong things or whatever. But that is also not done by God Himself, make them to do, or God is in their heart.
God arranges. So here, His desire that is journey within the heart of a living entity. So living entity, he has got so many desires. What he wanted to do, I wanted to fulfill this my desire, and next desire, another desire. He would establish his path, and then material nature orchestrates the activities for him. Material nature orchestrates the activities. Prakritehe karmani gunehi karmani sarvashah. But what he thinks, ahankar vimuratma kartaham iti manyate. So it is not the Lord's desire. It is the living individual living entity. Because of his desires, he will keep, I wanted to achieve that one. I wanted to become a doctor. I wanted to have a nice wife. I wanted to have a bank balance. He would establish some checkpoints in his life, even if we see one particular life. If it is not fulfilled, it carried forward for the next life. But Lord, tam jiva karma padivim anuvartamanaha. Lord always sees the activities of the living entity. And then he give permission. Upadrashta, Anumanta, Upadrashta, Anumanta. So it is also described. He is always the seer of the, if the living entity is trying to fulfill his desires, the Lord is always watching. Anumanta, he gives the permission to him. Yes, just granted. You can go ahead. उपद्रष्टानुमन्ता च भर्ता भोक्ता महेश्वरः परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तो पुरुषः प्रकृतेः परः. Okay, these are the statements. It is the desire of the living entity, not the desire of the Lord, but under the supervision of the Lord, material nature orchestrates the activities for a living entity according to his desires. Any other comments, dear devotees, you wanted to add to this? This question, please join. Peter Sundari Mataji, Taranya Mataji, you wanted to add? Taranya Mataji, it seems you might be busy, so it's been a very long time hearing you, Mataji. Any other comments, devotees? Ram Lala Prabhuji, if available.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
No, I was just thinking, just when you were reading all this today and discussing, I was just thinking that maybe from our heart we need to let go of all the ego and all the anger and greed and everything slowly by slowly. Obviously, it may take a while, but then hopefully then the load in the heart will start manifesting a little bit more and more. I don't know. Maybe he might get a better place, because at the moment it's a tight squeeze within our heart because it's filled with so many things. And once we start letting go, then the Lord will sit comfortably in our heart, because there would be space for him to sit comfortably. That's the way I was thinking. I don't know.
Yes, Mataji, you are right. That is perfectly said. That is Shrunutaha Sradhya Nityam Grunasasta Swacheshitam Kalena Natadidhyena Bhagavan Vichite Hrudi Pravistah Kannarandhena Swanam Bhava Saruruham Dhunoti Shamalam Krishnaha Sarilasya Yatasharat. Once Lord comes, we keep hearing Krishna Katha every day. The Lord will come and sit in our heart, and then he would cleanse Dhunoti Shamalam Krishnaha Sarilasya Yatasharat. He will cleanse all our heart. So, but what we need to do, just simply hearing, oral reception to the Krishna Katha with respect. Gunatasya Swacheshitam, by personal endeavor. And then he will be purified in due course of time and come. So this is called initially, people come, neophyte devotees, the new, and then later on, Kanistadikari, Madhyamadikari, Uttamadikari, gradually he would elevate himself in the spiritual path. Yes, but we need to simply hear Krishna Katha, that's all. And though one is following all the worshipping the Lord in the temple, doing all kinds of morning, evening, and worshipping with so much of sincere, but not hearing Krishna Katha and discussing Krishna Katha, then there is a very little progress in understanding as well. So there, Bhasmani eva juhoti saha. Again, Kapil Bhagavan describes that it is the foolishness, just doing all these things and not seeing myself in everywhere that I exist, and especially yatra, the Lord speaks to Narada Muni, yatra mad bhakta ghayante tatra tistami Narada. Wherever my devotees are discussing Krishna Katha, there I reside. And of course, Lord is residing everywhere. But also one has to, this is the discussion with the devotees, that must be there. It is not that I worship strictly morning and evening with the deities, with all kinds of paraphernalia, with all bhogas and everything. So here, it is when there is no oral reception, then there is a less progress. That it Bhagavan Shabda Gochara. Bhagavan can be understood by hearing through the sound vibrations. That is the highest. Of course, by looking the deity, that is also preferable. But where is the knowledge? How do we understand how great he is? What is relationship? By hearing only we understand it. But if we avoid hearing and I wanted to engage myself in the just deity services, there is a bit less progress. For example, the senses, 1 mark question, 2 mark questions, 3 mark questions, 4 mark questions, and 5 mark questions. So if we just establish these senses in establishing the order, the topmost is the hearing. Second level is the sense of touch. Third one is the looking at the form. Fourth one is the sense of taste, and then fifth one is the smell. This is how the senses also started from top to bottom in the beginning of the creation. First is the sound, and then sense of hearing, and the ears, and the sky. These are all formed in the beginning as the first level. And Bhagavan Shabda Goja, the universe has come, emanated from the sound itself. So one has to keep hearing, 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 hearing. He'll be purified in due course of time. Thank you, Mataji. Very nicely explained. Any other sharings, dear devotees? Okay, thank you so much. So if there are no further questions or sharings, then we conclude and continue with further japa.
Hi. A small question. No, I
Yes.
had on Saturday we were talking about this Brahma Samhita.
Yes.
Okay, I had to leave because I had to drop my son. But I just want to ask, like in the Vrindavan, which is Golok Vrindavan, where it's above and where it's in material world, it's the same like Vrindavan, like
Yes,
Mathura.
yes, Mataji. So that is whenever we have been discussing in the Goloka chat, so there it is described when we, with our strength of devotional service, we would remove the differences or misunderstandings between Goloka and Gokula. So sometimes Vrindavana is in the center of Vrindavana, and Gokula is bit far away, and Barsana is bit far away. And so in such a way, we perceive, but by the strength of devotional service, one would remove those obstacles which is deviating. So I think here this one statement mentions here. Sri Brahma Samhita, one statement Prabhupada mentioned that however, the idea of Gokula is seen to differ from Gokula till the success in unalloyed devotion is achieved. Once the devotion is achieved, then what happens? There you do not differentiate between Gokula or Goloka and Goloka. So this is the spiritual world. Again, ye yata bhivartante puryoho bhagavataha priyaha tasata santi vaikunte tat leelardhamatrudaha. That statement from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it confirms that the Lord's Goloka Vrindavana is manifested on the earth. And here, like in the petals are there, thousands of petals of Goloka Vrindavana. That is also manifested in the Atali Vrindavana. In different villages, Gokula, Barsana, so many other villages are also there. But Lalita Sakhi's village and Vishaka Sakhi's village, like that. There are so petals. They are manifested from the spiritual world.
So it's very auspicious to living in there. In that.
Sorry, Mataji,
Telegram.
could you repeat?
It's very auspicious to living in this that
Yes,
telegram.
yes, it is auspicious to live within the Vrindavana or Barsana, and these are all our devotees' place.
Vasana and all is like relative to one like is Goluka.
Yes, so here Lalita Sakhi, Vishaka Sakhi, and then Suchitra, Induleka, Champakalata, Rangavidya, Rangadevi, Tungavidya. Their villages are also nearby. If we just go through each and every Sakhi's pastimes, we would see what are their complexion, where they live, and which village also we would see them, which are all surrounding the Vrindavan. All belong to, it is manifested Golok Vrindavan on the earth. That's why our devotees go to the Krishna Balarama temple and wanted to live there because of this reason. And then they wanted to engage like that. And people of Vrindavan naturally, if you just go instead of the towns, if you go nearer to the villages, the people's lives are so simple, and they're living exactly, they do not have much of technology and advancement of this modern world. Their life is surrounding between Krishna and Radharani. If you go to the Radharani, there what is that one? Basanaka Maharaj, something like that. What is that statement? It is written on the Radharani's temple. Maharaj, they consider Radharani as Maharaj.
For the Maharaj, okay.
Yeah, Radharani is the topmost. Likewise, they think because Krishna also comes to Radharani. That's why, because of Radharani's presence, Krishna comes. So they worship Radharani more. Of
And
course,
also because of the Radha, he got his Govardhan and everything, even that Yamuna and Govardhan. Because Radharani asked Krishna, you only
yeah,
come, this will come. That's material.
yeah.
Mm. So,
So it
yeah,
is
very,
very difficult to hold off Krishna if he is alone, but it is very easy for us to approach Radharani so that Krishna will automatically come there because Radharani is always engaged in the service of Krishna. That way, that Prabhupada also mentioned, that process is very easy. And in the Goloka Vrindavana, Krishna is covered by Radharani is the Gokuleshwari. She is the master of all Goloka Vrindavana. Her palace is big and it is described Krishna stays in her palace. Of course, that is true. Here in this material world, we also see when it is called Grihastha, that house is belong Grihini Grihastha. Grihini means whoever is owning that house as her own thing, her property. It doesn't matter whether man is providing money or not, but it is woman's property. Grihastha means a man who lives within that house. Grihini, who is owning that house. That is the statements of describing this Grihini Grihastha. Similarly, in the Goloka Vrindavana, she is the queen of this Goloka Vrindavana. Everyone follows her instructions. And Krishna stays with her. So beautiful. Again, the Goloka description is so nice to read from Brahmavaivarta Mahapurana, where the pastimes of Krishna and Radharani can be seen. And sometimes we also see in the Sri Krishna Janmakanda, and once Jayavad Mataji mentioned, is Radharani older than Krishna? So again, we could see such kind of things within the Brahmavaivarta Mahapurana, saying that when Krishna was born here in this material world, Radharani wanted to see that baby child, baby Krishna. So she could not feel the separation. And then she has come personally to see baby Krishna. So likewise, those pastimes are also can be seen. She is also elder and also she is also younger at the same time. But we need to find those references where it is described, Brahmavayata Mahapurana. And also if coming to our scriptures given by Rupa Goswami and I think Dhyan Chandra Paddhati, there he has described about the exact age of Krishna and Radharani eternally. But whenever there Krishna comes here into this material world, little bit of things, but this is for us, it is for the people who are trying to hear and release those pastimes.
I also heard one story, I don't know whether it's true, but like Radharani only opened the eyes when he first see the Krishna, like when he was
Yes.
yeah, he never, she doesn't want to open the eyes, but when Krishna, like first met, then only she opened the eyes.
Yes. So that those pastimes are very beautiful. Yes, Mataji. So in the Brahmavata Mahapurana, that one, if you just go back to that one, it would be very interesting as well. Not this one, education world, it seems. Okay, Brahmavata Mahapurana. So it is so beautiful. When Jayavad Mataji was mentioning, just I didn't have enough time to go through here. So in the Prakriti Kanda, Sri Krishna Janma Kanda here, uh, So birth of Krishna, emergence of Krishna, birth of Krishna. So here in this birth of Krishna, I can't see properly here. This is my laptop is a bit older. I cannot zoom, and the Internet Explorer is also not proper. Older version. So okay, but anyway, if you just go through this chapter, birth of Krishna, and this festive's emergence of Krishna and birth of Krishna, these two chapters, what Jai Vaidmataji was mentioning, that can be mitigated here by understanding the pastimes. Okay, any other questions?
Brahma Vaidya Purana.
Yes, it is education world. Go to the Shastra or Purana, and then Brahmaveta Purana, and then this
Chapter.
is in English. So you could hear. I cannot even zoom in, so that is the maximum thing I can do with this.
Yeah, Krishna Janma Kan chapter 7.
Yeah, chapter 6 and chapter 7, both chapters, if you read it, then you would understand the pre-context of it and abode of Krishna, description of Goloka. It is so beautiful to hear. There are around 14 layers going into the center of the Goloka, that is where Radharani is palace there in the center. There are 14 layers to go cross. Everything is every opulence. Would you, Mataji, would you be able to read here these English statements when you zoom in your devices?
You asking me or Mataji? Jai?
Anyone is fine. So just because I could not read from my
Yeah, I
laptop.
can read. Yeah.
Yes, we can zoom and we can make it bigger.
Yeah.
Would you like to, do you think it is nice to read, Mataji? You got enough time to read it? Or I don't know. It is devotee's choice. Or you can read on your own times otherwise.
We always like to read with you, Prabhuji. You make us understand better, but you decide how you want to do this.
I'm happy, Mataji. So if you just go and reading, so here verses are also there. Let us not go to the verses. It will take lots of time. Just if we go through the reading of just English translations, that would be sufficient for now. Just to get the mood of it. So here, starting from here, it is praise of Vishnu, Brajatans, not, and Radha and Sridham, description of Goloka. Let us start from here. Devad Mataji, would you like to read English, Mataji? For me, it is a bit difficult to read. Chapter 4. So Narada said, O best of these, well versed in the Vedas, at whose request Lord Krishna, who happens to be the Lord of the universe, appeared on the earth to human form, and what was the reason for it?
Yeah. And
So,
then are we going up again? Yes? Okay.
yes, Narayana. So this is the
Narayana.
conversations between Narada Muni and Narayana Rishi. Out of Narayana, Narayana Rishi. This is the conversation between.
Okay. Narayan said, in earlier times, during the Varaha Kalpa, the earth was disturbed with the load of the wicked people and was grief stricken. She then went to Brahma to take refuge with her. Having been terrified immensely by the demons, the goddess Earth, accompanied with the gods, reached the inaccessible court of Brahma and found Brahma, the lord of the gods, there, illumining with divine luster and surrounded by rishis, sages, and siddhas delightfully. Wearing a smile on his face, he was witnessing the dance of the Apsaras, accompanied with the music by Gandharvas. He was reciting the two-letter name of Krishna. His eyes were filled with tears because of his devotion, and the entire body had become sensational. O sage, the goddess Prithvi, together with the gods, bowed to the four-faced Brahma and told him the story of his suffering at the hands of the demons. Thereafter, getting emotional, her eyes was filled with tears, and while crying and started offering prayer to Brahma, and while crying, she started offering prayers to Brahma. Looking at her, Brahma, the creator of the universe, said, "O noble lady, why is you crying? And why are you crying?" Should be an offering prayer at the same time. Have you arrived? How have you arrived here? Yeah, it's still very small still, but yeah, it's fine. Does anyone else want to read now the second page?
Go on, Mataji.
Prithvi said. You want me to read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please go on.
Prithvi said, okay, from there, isn't it?
So here, tell me at once.
Tell me, okay. Tell me at once, surely you will meet with welfare or prosperous one. Why are you feeling panicky? Like panicky? What? Panicking? You be compensation. I don't know what is the Mataji say. Composer. Composer. Is assuring the goddess of earth variously. Brahma asked the god respectively, "O god, why have you arrived here? You tell me the reason for it." On listening to the word of Brahma, the god spoke to Prajapati, "Thus, O Lord, the earth is suffering because of the weight of the demons, and the people also suffering at the hands of the demons. Hap- you happen to be the creator of the universe, and therefore you urgently search for a remedy for her. O Brahman, O Grandsire, you are the only source for us. Therefore, you think of the ways and means to free ourselves uh, from the torture of the demons, since the goddess earth is suffering with the weight of the demons. He are also suffering. We are also suffering at the hands of the demons. Therefore, you kindly remove her burden. Hare Krishna. Can I read this as well?
Yes, Mataji, go on up to the end of this paragraph.
Okay.
Complete page.
Listening to the word of the god, Brahma told them, "O goddess earth, you get relieved of the terror and be happy. I do something to relieve you of your misery. O lotus eyes one, I shall surely remove your burden, and you will meet with prosperity of noble lady. I shall surely, Prithvi said, "O kind." Prithvi said, "O Lord, no one can speak out his heart as trusted persons. Therefore, I am rising to narrate detail of my suffering to you. Kindly listen to me. If a female is considering to be helpless, therefore she is protected by the father, the husband, and the son in all times. Her protection by anyone else has been demonized. You are the Father of the universe and are asking me, therefore, the people with the weight of whom I am suffering, I am going to tell you about them, because I will not feel shy in narrating my tale to you. Therefore, tho- sorry, those those who are deprived of the devotional of the Lord Krishna, and those who denounce his devotee, I am unable to bear the load of such people. Those who do not follow their dharma, perform no good deeds, having no faith in the Vedas, I am troubled with the weight of such people. Such of the people do not feed or maintain their parents, parents, teacher, wife, son, and other dependents. I am unable to bear the load of such people. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So here one statement, the Mother Earth says, a woman always must be depending on a father, husband, or a grown-up son. She can otherwise, if she is depending on someone else, has been denounced, that is not approved, that is condemned. If a woman is depending on someone else who is not father, husband, and son, it is denounced. It is very bold statement here by Mother Earth. And because Brahma is the father of this universe, so likewise, she was mentioning all her problems. And why? So people, those who do not follow their dharma, who are not following dharma, deprived of devotion of Lord Krishna. That is people. So here, this Brahmavat Mahapuran is establishing Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead and Radharani, and all pastimes goes around Krishna and Radharani. Because of this, which is completely aligning Ishwarasya Anumodataha, aligning to Bhagavad Gita, that's why it is approved scripture. Though this scripture is in for the people of mode of passion, but we take birth here in the human society. That means we're already passionated. But when we understand, go through this, of course, there are some statements. It is um, it's very nicely described for us in an easily understandable way. Okay, it highlights the devotion to only Krishna. Okay, so further, I will go on. Jaivad Mataji, would you like to read the next paragraph?
Yes, Hare Krishna. O Lord, such of the persons who speak falsehood, who are deprived of mercy and truth, denouncing the Vedas and the gods cannot be carried by me, and I am suffering because of them. Those who betrays the friend are ungrateful, give false evidence, betray the faith of others, misappropriate the trust. Their load is unbearable by me. Those who sell away Kalyan Sukta of the Samveda and also the name of the Lord which provides welfare, they troubled me the most, and I'm unable to bear their load. Those who kill the creatures, betray the teacher, perform yagnas from villages to village. The terrorists, those burning the dead bodies of the Shudras and consuming their food, I'm unable but bear their load. Those who destroy the puja, yagna, fasting, and several other vratas feel suffering because all them such of the people who are envious of cows, Brahmana, gods, Vaishnavas, and the devotees of the Lord reciting its glory, I'm unable to bear that load. O Creator of the universe, I'm unable to bear the atrocities of some sorry, I can't read. Some Kachida, and I suffer much more at the hands of other demons. I am unable to bear their weight. O Lord, I have thus narrated to the details of my sufferings. And in case I am your true devotee, then you kindly think of some remedy for the same. Thus speaking, the goddess Earth started crying before Brahma again and again. Listening to her cries, Brahma said, O goddess Earthy, I shall try my best to remove your suffering and simultaneously remove the demons from the earth, because one meets with success only by making efforts. The great Lord will surely remove your suffering at an appropriate time. O beautiful one, the person who will place mantra, the picture of the welfare, Shivalinga, vermilion, Jetimadhu, sandal, kasturi, earth from the sacred places, soul, bone of rhinoceros, crystal gems, rubies, sapphires, um, Sharyamani, Rudraksha, Kushagrass, Shalagram, Shankha, Tulsi, image of the gods, water conch, burning lamp, adorable stone, bell, Shiva, Naivedya, the gem, and Yagno, Pavitra, mirror, fly whisks, Gorochana, jewels, ruby, Puranas, fire camphor, battle axe, silver, gold, coral, gems, water of the sacred places, cows, milk, curd, ghee, cow dung, and sow's urine on the ground shall have to spend 10,000 years in the Kalashitra hell and keep on offering there. Hare Krishna. Do you want somebody else to read now?
I can finish up that page, Mataji.
Okay. Thus Brahma, the creator of the universe, assuring the good goddess Earth variously, went to Lord Shiva, accompanied by other gods. They reached Kailasa. Reaching there, Brahma spotted Shiva, who was seated under the everlasting banyan tree, grown on the bank of the Ganga of the heaven. He was rearing tigers, wearing tiger skin and ornaments of the bones of Sati, the daughter of Daksha. He was holding a trident. He had 5 faces, 3 eyes, surrounded by several of siddhas and yogis, wearing a serene smile on the face, and was witnessing the dance of apsaras accompanied with the music of Gandharvas. The goddess Parvati was lovingly at him, and he also was looking at her with the side glance. With his 5 faces, he was reciting the name of the Lord, which provides welfare. He was feeling joyful, wearing the garlands of lotus flowers from the Ganga. At that very moment, Brahma appeared before Shiva together with all the gods and bowed in reverence to him. At the sight of Brahma, Shiva, the teacher of the universe, with his mind filled with devotion, at once got up to receive him and offered his salutations to him. Thereafter, he received his blessings as well. All the gods then started offering their salutations to Shiva, who blessed them variously. Thereafter, Brahma, the creator of the universe, narrated the story of the earth to Shiva, the Lord of Parvati, hearing which Shiva bowed his head downwards, being the one who loved his devotees. Both Shiva and Parvati, on hearing the sufferings of the devotees, felt painful at heart At this, Brahma tried to salute him. Thereafter, Brahma and Shiva asked the goddess Earth and the other gods to go to their respective abodes, reassuring them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
The text is still very tiny, still, so struggling a bit. Thank you.
Yeah, me too, Mataji. Can we request Gaurangi Mataji to read next page, Mataji? Would you like to read from here until here?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. What did you say, Prabhuji?
Would you like to read, Mataji, this page?
Which one?
Both Brahma and Shiva went to.
I didn't see properly, Prabhuji. Very small. Can you make a little bit bigger than this?
That is the maximum I could do that. So it is my laptop is very old.
Yes.
It is going not properly. I can't see anything.
It's
It disappeared.
disappeared from my side.
Yeah. Okay. If not possible, Mataji,
Yes, Prabhuji, I cannot see. English or
just English, Mataji.
okay, from there to
Yeah, from Brahma, both Brahma and Shiva to up to here. Your glory.
Kanchi Prabhuji. Both Brahma and Shiva went to the abode of Brahma and this one cannot see Prabhuji. Brahma and what's that Prabhuji?
And consulted him very
And consulted him Vaikun
variously.
barely. Prabhuji can't see properly.
Okay,
Very small letter Prabhuji.
yeah, I shall try, Mataji. Next
Okay.
time. Okay, so consult him variously. Thereafter, all of them combined went to Vaikuntha, which is the great abode of Vishnu, and is beyond the birth and death, and is situated beyond the globe, floating in the air. This eternal abode of Vishnu is situated beyond a crore of yojanas from the earth. It is built in gems, is beyond the comprehension of the poets, where the rubies and sapphires are freely used on the pathways. The gods who could move with the speed of the mind, gods who could move with the speed of the mind, reached there uh, in an instant and had a look at the Lakshmi Narayana in the inner apartment, who was seated on the cave and the gem-studded iron throne. So adorned with the gem-studded ornaments, gem-studded armlets, wristlets, and anklets. Besides the neck ornaments of gems, he was wearing yellow lower garments. The long garland of forest flower was quite peaceful, and Lord of Saraswati, served by Lakshmi at his feet, possessing the lustre of crores of gods of love, having a smiling face, four-armed, and surrounded by his attendants like Sunanda, Nanda, Kumuda, and several others. All his limbs were plastered with the sandal paste. Of course, sometimes the English words are not exactly the beautiful things, but they have used it as much as possible. Okay, all his limbs were plastered with the applied or tinged with the sandalwood paste. He had the beautiful crown studded with gems on his head. He is blissful and one who always had been merciful on his devotees. Such a type of uh, Lord Vishnu was seen by Brahma and other gods, who offered their salutations to him with devotion. All of them meekly stood there offering prayers, and at that point of time, all the gods were feeling blissful and their body was filled with emotion. So Brahma said, O Lord of Kamala, O peaceful one, I bow in deference to Lord Achyuta, who happens to be the Lord of all. You happen to be your own luster, and all the gods also have emerged from your race, O spotless one. All the sages, the ascetics, and the humans appear on earth together with all the movable and immovable creatures emerging from your race. Shiva says, Shiva said, O Lord, you are indestructible, imperishable, all-pervading, visible and invisible, blissful, and possessed all the siddhis like Anima and others. Because of this, you are known to be the bestower of all the success and the form of success. Therefore, which one of us could be competent enough to recite your glory? Dharma said. So now Lord Shiva says, and Dharma is also mentioning. So now who are visiting? We could see those names. So Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Dharma. The men with the letters have described the one who has been highlighted in the Vedas, but the one who was the elements who was of the elements which were beyond the description of the Vedas, who can offer prayers to him. Whatever sins are possible for anyone, they are considered to be the virtues, and which appear in the form of their prayer. They appear spotless and are visible as well as invisible. How can such a Lord destroy, O great sage? Uh, Whosoever recites the 6 verses composed by the gods in favor of the Lord, such a person is uh, relieved of all the miseries and always meets with the success. On hearing the prayer of the gods, Vishnu himself spoke to them. All of you should go to Goloka and shall also follow you with Lakshmi. Naranarayana, the dweller of Shvetadvipa, and Saraswati will also follow you. My vast illusion and Kartikeya, Ganesha, and Savitri, the mother of the Vedas, will also follow us. So now Vishnu is telling the plan, so who are all going to Goloka. I reside in the Goloka having two armed in the form of Krishna with Radha and other cowardices, and at this place I reside with Kamala and other courtiers. So this particular statement by Vishnu mentions, I reside in the Goloka with two armed in the form of Krishna with Radha. Okay, and then here Narayana, the dweller of the Shvetadvipa, and Krishna are one and the same. I happen to be Brahma, and all the gods happen to be my race. The gods, demons, and human beings also represent my race. All of you should go to Goloka, and you will surely meet with success. Therefore, all of us will reach there for the fulfillment of the desire of all. Thus, speaking in the court, the Lord kept quiet. So here it is speaking by Vishnu here. Vishnu is suggesting Brahman, Shiva, Dharma, and everyone to go to Goloka. Thereafter, all the gods bowed in reverence to him and proceeded to Goloka, which is astonishing in nature beyond the birth and death and happens to be the eternal abode. This abode of the Lord is beyond 50 crore yojanas from Vaikuntha and is floating in the air and was created as per the desire of the all-pervading Lord. All gods then started with the intention of reaching Goloka, which is beyond descriptions. The gods who could move with the speed of the mind reached an instant on the bank of the river. So the gods were surpassed since was spotless like the crystal gems. It had mines of rubies, sapphires, gems, besides the various types of gems, including those having black, white, green, and red color. Because of the sprouting of the coral rods, the best of the mines of gems could be seen at several places, several pieces. O sage, it was quite surpassing for Brahma to look at such a scene. There were several other mines where the rubies and sapphires, emerald, gems were found at the some places. There were the mines of Shamantaka gems and the treasure of gold. At places, there were the valuable gems of yellow color, and certain places of the gems were available in heaps. At some places, the Kaustuba gems were found in the abundance. At some places were the mines of gems, which were beyond description. At some places, there were orchards for strolling. The gods were surprised at the sight and getting flabbergasted. The gods reached the other bank of the river, where they found the graceful and charming mountain with 100 peaks and which had the forest of Parjata trees besides the Kalparuksha and the Kamadhenu cows. It was a crores of yojanas in height and was 10 times its width. Its peak was spread over an area of 50 crores of yojanas. That mountain was surrounding the entire Goloka like a boundary wall. At the peak of the mountain, there was the Rasamandala, which was spread over an area of 10 yojanas and was circular in shape. It was abounded with orchard of thousands of fragrant flowers and with the group of black wasps. It was filled with the articles required for the lover sports and also had many of the decorated pleasure houses. It had 1,000 crores of steps studded with gems and filled with the picture made with the best of gems and the pillars studded with rubies and sapphires. The gems of vermilion color were studded for the purpose of decorations. It had the pleasant boundary walls studded with beautiful beautiful gems, and the doors were also studded with various types of gems. It was filled with the trunks of banana trees and trunks of banana trees tied with strings, and the mango leaves were tied with strings adorning the place. So we could see this nowadays when there are functions like Shri Ram Navami, Krishna Janmashtami, and nice festivals are there. In the villages, we bring the banana trees and just tie that to the pillars, and then it is auspicious occasion, bringing the mango leaves and stinging there, and also the jumbo tree leaves, that small twigs and branches also kept near here and there around the functions. So this is all auspicious occasions. And then Osage, the white paddy, the net of leaves, the fruits, the tender uh, darwa grass, the sandal paste, aguru, and then kasturi and the saffron. Besides, beverages were available in abundance there. Crores of cowardices were found who were adorned with gem-studded ornaments and their garlands of gems. They were wearing the armlets, anklets, and results of gems, besides the pearl of ear ornaments studded with gems. Okay, everywhere we see gems and rubies and golds, all the treasuries found in here, Golokurindavan. So they were wearing the rings of gems, all the fingers of the hands as well as the toes. They were adorned with all the ornaments, including the crown and the head and the precious gems as nose ornaments. They had the spot of vermilion decorating their foreheads and their hairdo was beautifully done. They had the luster of the beautiful champaka flowers, and their limbs were plastered with the sandal paste. So they were wearing the yellow garments, had the lips like the ripe wooden apples. Their faces were like the full moon of the winter season, the eyes resembling the full blown lotuses of the winter season, and a Kasturi collyrium applied to the eyes had the garlands of fully blossomed jasmine flowers round their necks, surrounded by the black wasps which were greedy for the honey. Their walking resembled the royal elephant. They had the curved eyebrows and the serene smile on the faces. The teeth resembled the ripe pomegranate, and the nose resembled that of the peak of Garuda, and the beautiful breasts resembled the temples of the elephants, which made them. This is the humps and the, I think, elephants, which made them uneasy because of their weight. They had developed buttocks till the pelvic region. They shattered the mind because of the passionate advances and were anxious to look at the mirror to find their reflection in it. All these damsels were devoted at the lotus feet of the Radhika and uh, served her in Rasamandala. Her Rasamandala was quite well guarded by these damsels, which had lakhs of the streams for water sports, and some of them had white, red, and extremely red lotuses flower. But the birds were issuing sweet notes, and the black wasps were producing hissing sound. Okay, so this is the glory is a continuation, keep going on. I do not know where it would end. So
It's quite long, isn't it?
I think so. This is description of Goloka. It is. Let us
Don't
see.
know whether we would have time today or I
Yeah. Otherwise, we may. I don't
read
know.
ourselves and then.
Yeah, if you read yourself, that would be very nice.
Yeah. I think read ourselves because it's quite long. Yeah.
Yeah. Then
We might
what?
be able to expand the text a bit as well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. If you just read in the iPads, where you can zoom,
Yeah.
clearer.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm also struggling here, just keeping eyes very.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's very difficult. So this is the description of it, and then further, that Goloka Vrindavan, just summarizing that one. So it is having the 14 layers, and each layer it is described with who are all guarding that first four. What is that? The protecting walls of that Golok, Radharani's palace. Before reaching the Radharani palace, the 14 walls must to be prakaras. Whenever in the Vaikuntha Loka, there are 7 prakaras. When the 4 Kumaras are crossing, Tasmin Atitya Munayaha Sarasajamanaha Kakshaha Samana Vasavada Saptamayam. And the 7th prakara, Jaya and Vijaya were there. They have crossed 6 in the Vaikuntha. Likewise, in the Goloka Vrindavana, there are 14 prakaras are there. So, and who are guarding and each and every prakara that is described. And finally, these demigods reach to the place where the Radharani's palace is there. Okay, that is the summary. And then Brahma and all the demigods, they enter into the palace of Radharani with the permission of Radharani, and they wait for Krishna to come. And then Krishna, whenever Krishna comes, they could see only the light, not anything else. But later on, they offered prayers to Krishna, and then slowly that glaring, the effulgence was taken by Krishna, and then they would be able to see Krishna and Radharani sitting on a golden throne, which is like a having, again, description of the throne is also, it takes so much of text to describe. And then Krishna is sitting on top of it, and along with Radharani. During that time, Narayana comes from his abode to Golokurandana and entered into the body of Krishna. And later on, Vishnu also come and entered into the body of Krishna. And when Narayana comes, and here Saraswati, she also goddess of fortune, they also come and they will go and stand next to the Krishna. Narayana enters into the body of Krishna. Later on, Vishnu also comes and enters into the body of Krishna. Later on, Krishna speaks. So, oh demigods, it is the time for me to appear, understanding and hearing from Brahma and other statements. He mentions that I'm going to appear in the earthly Vrindavana. And then he says, you take birth here, you take birth there. Likewise, he gives for who are all going to take birth. It is pre-arranging the pastimes of Vrindavana. And then later on, Radharani was a bit separate, feeling so much of separation from Krishna. If you go and take birth there, how do I live here? And then later on, Krishna also speaks some consoling words. You also take birth there. And later on, that pastime also goes there. This is emergence of Krishna, and then later on, birth of Krishna. So, it is very hard for me to find that exact text in which part it comes. We need to go through that sequence to understand. So this is again describing the gates. Looking at the gate, the gods were immediately surprised. Those said the gate was beyond description and unheard of. Likewise, every gate is guarded by Sudama, having astonishing beauty. Likewise, of course, this is Golopurna. We cannot complete by reading or not satiated. We feel that reading and reading and reading, our heart will be relishing with Krishna and that. So just going further down. So here it says, Brahma says, I bow down in deference to the form of luster, who happens to be the best bestower of the best of the boons, the cause of the boons, and cause all the creatures. So here mentioning here this particular just one statement, appearance of Krishna. Here, O Narada, the house was decorated with crores of invaluable, and this is the Radharani's palace. Kalashas, gems, diamonds decorated with vases of emergence from the same, the Veena, sorry, emerging from the same music, and then the Veena and other musical instruments were being played upon with the beauty beating or double drums, and sound was quite pleasant. The songs relating to the glory of Radha and Krishna were being recited. All the gods felt surprised with the look of this astonishing type of houses. They listened to the sweet music there and witnessing the best of the dances. All the gods stood there attentively and they felt attracted toward the sound of the music. Thereafter, God spotted a gem-studded beautiful lion throne, which was as vast as a bow. It looked circular from all the sides. Various types of small vases made in gems were flattered with the astonishing types of puppets. The flowers and the artificial forests were painted with the same. O Brahmana, they witnessed an astonishing type of the mass of luster, which resembled the luster to the crores of suns. It was shining like the divine flames, and its glory was spread on the height of 7 thala trees. The mass of luster could snatch away the tejas of all and was pervading the entire ashramas. It was all pervading the seed of all and could dazzle the eyes of all. At the sight of the blissful one, the eyes of all the gods were filled with tears, and hair on this body stood and stood and ends. They could have a glimpse of the success ahead. All of them bowed before the mass of luster. Thereafter, all of them got up and went closer to the mass of luster and looked at it quite carefully. O Narada, while looking at it carefully, the hands of Brahma and the creator of the universe were automatically folded. He made Shiva to stand on his right and Dharma to his left with their mind filled with devotion. All of them started offering praise to the Lord who is beyond the comprehension of the everyone and is the great. And Brahma said, I bow in deference to the form of the luster who happens to be the best bestower of the boons, cause of the boons, and the cause of all creatures. He is one who happens to be the prosperity of all prosperities, bestower of prosperity, and base of all of them. I bow in reverence to the same luster. So Brahma prays, and then later on, they are praying only to the luster at this stage. Later on, where is that one? He's still going, glorifications of Krishna is still going on. So in this entire page is glorification of Krishna. Further, Dharma also prays, the protector of Dharma, destroyer and everything. Then the Krishna will take his glare, effulgence. So here, okay, so we shall stop here. So Jaivad Mataji. So service is very important. So this is just descriptions of Goloka, but we could take that one in the later on. Thank you so much, Mataji, for letting me know. So we shall, for now, we shall stop here. So we will continue in later on in some other time. So here, that's what demigods see after their prayer. They see Radha and Krishna clearly. So therefore, the emergence of Sri Krishna and Radha from the mass understand. So this one is described. Okay. So dear devotees, if you are happy, we shall conclude for now and then continue with Japa.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च परिदानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण conscious everyone. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री